stop. Silence everything. Turn off the noise of the world, the noise of your debts, your doubts, your history, and listen with the intensity of someone who has decided that not a single day more will be lived in scarcity. If you can listen to these words with hunger, with reverence, with full intention, if you are willing to repeat this message until every cell in your body surrenders to its truth, then listen with your soul wide open, because something inside you is about to wake up forever. You're going to attract more money than you could possibly spend. And when that happens, it won't be luck. It won't be coincidence. It will be consequence. It will be the result of a law older than any economy, stronger than any effort, and more real than the balance in your bank account. Because here's the truth. Money does not respond to exhaustion, or to wishing, or even to deserving. Money responds to a mind that has been trained to receive it without contradiction. And that mind, if you don't have it yet, you're going to build it here. This is not a motivational speech. This is not entertainment you'll forget tomorrow. This is a spiritual technology, a divine code for reprogramming your financial life from the roots, your faith, your words, your identity. If you can stay here without skipping, without resisting, without distraction, if you dare to repeat this message every day as if you were drinking water to survive, then I promise you something that no one has ever promised with truth. Abundance will stop being a wish and will become your natural state. Today, the old version of you will be challenged, and the new you will be built right here, right now, without asking for permission. Because if you've come this far, it's because your soul is already ready. Let's begin. Listen closely. Money doesn't come to the busy. It doesn't come to the desperate. It doesn't even come to the hardest worker in the room. Money comes to the one who expects it without contradiction. It flows toward the man who has trained his mind into a conscious magnet, who sees it as natural, daily, inevitable. It arrives to the one who has stripped away the inner conflict between desire and belief. The man poor in his wallet was first poor in his thoughts. And the man rich in mind cannot stay poor for long, because the universe never ignores a mind completely convinced of its power. I'm not talking about hope. I'm not talking about optimism. I'm talking about spiritual law, immutable, impersonal, exact. It doesn't matter how much you pray, cry, or work. If your mind doubts, the law answers with silence. If your faith shakes, your abundance waits. If deep down you believe you're unworthy, then that's exactly what you'll receive. Nothing. Money is not emotional. It doesn't feel sorry for you. It doesn't respond to guilt, complaint, or misunderstood sacrifice. Money responds to direction, to certainty, to focused awareness. Poverty is not a curse. It's a mirror. It reflects what your mind has been secretly believing. Because your current financial situation is not the cause, it's the result. It's the echo of thoughts repeated, words spoken, beliefs sustained for years. And if you don't like what you see outside, you must change what you allow inside. You are not ruined by the system. You are not blocked by your past. You're not limited by your government, by inflation, or by your education. You're limited only by what you think is possible for you. And until you rewrite that belief, every attempt to grow will be like planting on asphalt. There is a cold, unbreakable law that governs the flow of wealth. No one can receive more than what their mind is prepared to hold. Your job is not to chase money. Your job is to become the kind of person who attracts it naturally. And for that, you don't need to sweat more. You need to think differently. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. What do you repeat every day? What do you feel when you see someone rich? What do you say when someone mentions abundance? If you feel discomfort, guilt, rejection, or doubt, that's your block. Not in your bank, not in your paycheck, in you. From today, understand this. Money doesn't struggle to come. You struggle to hold the inner conflict that keeps it away. And when that contradiction disappears, when your inner world aligns with your desire, money has no choice. It must come. Most people believe that wealth is achieved. Few understand that wealth is first embodied. It's not about how hard you work. It's not about how many degrees you have or how many hours you fight. True wealth begins in the mind. And if you're not experiencing it, It's not because you don't deserve it. It's because your mind has not yet been conditioned to receive it. Listen to this with absolute clarity. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you expect. And you expect, deep inside, only what you believe is possible for you. A man can work 50 years without rest and die with nothing more than the sweat he collected. Another, with only 10 years of service but unshakable faith, can build a legacy that lasts generations. The difference is not effort. The difference is programming. Wealth consciousness is a frequency, a state of invisible certainty that can be felt, breathed, and projected. It cannot be taught. It must be cultivated. You want to know if you have wealth consciousness? Ask yourself this. When you think about having a lot of money, do you feel expansion or anxiety? Freedom or fear? Do you see yourself worthy or as an imposter? That answer is your current level. And I'm not telling you this to judge you. I'm telling you this to wake you up. Because if there's rejection, discomfort, or fear inside you, money feels it and simply walks away. It is not arrogance to expect wealth. It is wisdom. It is obeying a law as real as gravity. You don't ask permission for the ground to hold you when you walk. So why ask forgiveness for expecting abundance? Stop doing that. Right now, we are reprogramming it. Repeat this out loud with conviction and truth. I'm not afraid of wealth. I expect it. I receive it. I am prepared to sustain it. Again, louder. Wealth doesn't intimidate me. Wealth recognizes me. It comes to me because I have called it with clear thought and clean faith. Money cannot resist certainty. It runs from contradiction. It avoids the doubter, but it clings to the believer. The man who walks with wealth in his mind, who sees opportunity instead of obstacles, who speaks of prosperity without shame, is the man the universe begins to serve. He does not bow to money. He honors it, but does not idolize it, because he knows it is not a prize. It is a natural extension of his mentality. And if you decide that this mentality is now yours, the change begins not tomorrow, not when results arrive, but right now, when your thoughts become faith. You can keep being the man who wants wealth, or you can become the man who embodies it. And I tell you this with love, but with firmness. No technique, no course, no strategy will ever work if your mind still vibrates in scarcity. But if you decide, from the depths of your soul, to become the kind of person money looks for, then prepare yourself, because soon you won't be able to stop it. The universe does not reward those who dream. It rewards those who decide. And if you haven't yet received what you desire, it's not because you're not ready. It's because you're not yet clear. Wealth doesn't respond to confusion. It doesn't obey maybe. It doesn't move for someday. It only bows before clarity. You cannot command the universe if you have not first commanded yourself. You cannot attract millions if you don't even know what they're for. Most people are not poor because they lack capacity. They are poor because they lack direction. They have never written their destiny. They have never claimed it with authority. They live wishing, not declaring with faith. You need a definite purpose. A clear, emotional, written statement that tells your subconscious and the infinite intelligence. This is what I want, and this is how I will achieve it. When Andrew Carnegie met Napoleon Hill, he didn't give him gold. He didn't give him resources or contacts or opportunities. He gave him a single command. Write down your chief, definite aim in life, and begin nothing until it is clear. Why? Because without a definite purpose, there is no focused spiritual energy. And without focus, the law cannot activate. Look at what Edwin C. Barnes did. He didn't say, I'd like to work with Edison. He said, I'm going to be his partner. He had no money, no proper clothes, no connections, nothing but a decision so powerful that it carried him onto a freight train and straight to the door of one of the greatest men of his era. And he succeeded, not because of luck, but because his purpose wasn't an illusion. It was an inner identity that ruled him. Now I ask you, how clear are you? Do you have your goal written down? Do you know exactly what you want? Buy when you want it, and what you're willing to give in return. Because if you haven't done this yet, let me speak to you directly. You're not ready to receive wealth. But if today, right now, you decide to take that paper, to write your definite chief aim, then something begins to change. Your mind stops wandering. It begins to obey. your faith aligns, and the universe starts opening paths that were invisible before. So do it right now. Write down, my definite chief aim is, and finish the sentence. Be specific. What do you want? By what exact date will you achieve it? And what will you give in return? In service, contribution, or value? Then read it out loud twice a day, morning and night, with emotion, with decision, as if it were already true, because it is. And if you need guidance, examples, or inspiration, you're not alone. Here at Napoleon Inspires, we share the ancient teachings that turn your mind into a magnetic force. Because this channel is not a place to listen. It's a place to become. Take this moment as your starting point. Decide that your life will no longer be improvised. Decide that you will no longer be a leaf moved by the wind. From today forward, you give the command. And every time the world tries to pull you away, every time you doubt, every time you feel you're not progressing, return to your written goal. Look at it. Speak it. Remember who you are. And repeat with power. I have a clear goal. I know where I'm going. Nothing and no one can stop me. Again, say it with fire. My mind has direction. My soul has fire. My path is written with intention. When that lives inside you, money will stop being a goal. It will become an inevitable consequence. True desire is not a pretty thought. It's not something you write in a notebook and forget tomorrow. True desire is fire. It's a living energy, a presence that burns inside you. It's what keeps you awake at night. It's what makes you rise when you have no strength left. It pulls you toward your purpose the way a river pulls a stone. If you don't feel that fire today, if your goal doesn't burn within you, then what you have isn't a desire. It's a preference, a lukewarm illusion. And lukewarm souls never attract wealth. Listen carefully. Everything that exists in this world was born from burning desire. Empires, discoveries, fortunes. They weren't built by the smartest. They were built by the most determined, the hungriest, the ones who refuse to live an ordinary life. Wealth doesn't come to the man who says, it would be nice to have more money. It comes to the man who declares, I will build abundance or die trying. That level of intensity, that emotional and spiritual commitment, is what activates the law. Look at Edison. He failed more than 10,000 times. And every night, when everything fell apart, the desire to see light still burned within him. That is spiritual desire. It doesn't quit. It doesn't fade. It consumes everything not aligned with it. And if you feel lost, unmotivated, or stuck right now, you don't need more motivation. You need to desire like you never have before. Desire is not comfortable. It will shake your old habits. It will make your comfort zone feel like a cage. It will push you to act. And that's exactly what you need. Because if you don't burn, you don't move. Repeat this now with your whole being. My desire is stronger than my fear. It burns within me and it guides me. I cannot turn it off. I will not turn it off. Again, louder. I am possessed by my purpose. Nothing stops me. Nothing distracts me. My desire is sacred fire. Unstoppable. Unshakable. Successful people are not luckier. They are more determined. They hold a vision so clear, a sense of urgency so deep, that life itself has no choice but to open for them. That power is already in you. It's just sleeping. And today, we're going to wake it up. How? Through repetition, through action, through decision, through the courage to stop apologizing for wanting something great. You are not born to settle. You are born to expand. And your desire is the map that guides you. Don't ignore it. Don't minimize it. Don't cool it down to make others comfortable. True desire doesn't need permission. It needs expression. So from now on, feed it. Speak to it. Write about it. Give it space in your schedule, in your prayer, in your breath. Make it your sacred obsession. And every time doubt appears, every time someone calls you crazy, every time logic tries to take over, return to your flame and say, my desire is stronger than any obstacle. I am lit. I am focused. I am ready. And when they ask, what's your secret? Why do you walk with such certainty? Why do you talk as if the future already belongs to you? Smile and say softly, because I'm burning inside. And what burns attracts. Most people live with a mind that doesn't belong to them. and they don't even know it. They react. They doubt. They sabotage themselves. Not because they want to, but because their subconscious has been trained by thoughts they never chose consciously. Phrases like, "It's impossible. Money is hard to get. I wasn't born for that. I don't have luck. That's not for me." Words repeated so many times that the subconscious accepted them as law. And now you are here, trying to change your reality, while a hidden program deep inside you repeats the opposite. That ends today. Autosuggestion is not a game. It is the most powerful tool ever given to man. It is the bridge between what you want and what you are, between what you ask with your lips and what you receive in life. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. It only obeys emotional repetition. It doesn't understand sarcasm. It doesn't get jokes. It doesn't analyze truth or lies. It listens. It records. It executes. And here is the great mistake of most people. They want abundance, but they speak the language of scarcity every day. They say, "I can't." They say, "It's too expensive." They say, "Maybe someday." And the subconscious, like a loyal servant, replies, "As you wish." So how do we change it? With conscious repetition, with intentional words, with deliberate emotion. You could train your mind the same way an athlete trains his body, by speaking to it daily with power and focus. This is autosuggestion, and when you practice it, the universe begins to align with you. Not by magic, but because you have changed the core of your identity. Repeat this now, not softly, but with fire. I am wealth. I speak wealth. I hear wealth. I breathe wealth. Again, with no fear. Why repeat with faith becomes my reality. My voice has power. My words create my destiny. Don't do this just today. Do it tomorrow. Do it every day. Do it until your body believes it. Do it until your mind stops questioning it. Do it until you no longer have to believe, because you are. Your repetition will become your reality. You don't need to wait for money to arrive to feel rich. You need to feel rich so that money arrives. That's the key. That's the code. Emotions don't create the habit. The habit creates the emotion. And if you repeat the right things, even when it feels uncomfortable at first, even when it doesn't feel real yet, your nervous system will adapt. And one day, you'll catch yourself walking, speaking, deciding like someone who already has everything they once prayed for. That's not fake confidence. That's reprogramming. From today forward, before you sleep, read your goal. Affirm it. Feel it. Engrave it inside you. And in the morning, before touching your phone, talk to yourself. Tell yourself who you are. Tell yourself what you will achieve. Tell yourself why you deserve the best. Yes, it will feel awkward at first. But remember, discomfort is the sign of change. Autosuggestion doesn't need your comfort. It needs your discipline. Do it with intensity. Do it with reverence. Do it as if you were carving a new version of yourself into stone. Now repeat this affirmation with your whole presence. I build wealth with my words. I command prosperity with my faith. I become what I repeat. Once more, as if the universe were listening. My words reprogram my mind. My mind transforms my world. And my world obeys what I declare. This isn't entertainment. This isn't motivation. This is mental surgery, a spiritual reconstruction. Do it for 30 days, then 60, then 90. And when you've repeated it so many times that it flows without thought, you'll know the inner work is complete. And what comes after will not surprise you. It will be the reflection of your new voice. No man can attract wealth if his soul is ruled by fear. And it's not because wealth is cruel. It's because fear repels abundance. The energy of fear closes the door to the new. It freezes action. It dilutes faith. It sends a silent but powerful message to your subconscious. I'm not ready to receive. Fear is simply faith inverted. It is belief, but in the worst. It is visualization, but of tragedy. It is affirmation, but of loss. And here's the danger. Fear, too, is obeyed by the law. If you repeat it with emotion, if you feel it deeply, if you sustain it with vivid images, your mind will not know if it's desire or rejection. It will simply attract it. Now, listen closely. There are many kinds of fear. but one guards the gates of wealth. One must be destroyed completely before true prosperity can enter. The fear of poverty. It disguises itself as prudence. It hides behind words like, "I can't afford that. That's too much for me. I don't want to dream too big and be disappointed. I'd rather not want too much." But in reality, it is a mental prison. And while that fear lives in you, every attempt to prosper will crash against an invisible wall. The solution is not to wait until the fear disappears. The solution is to act in spite of it. Fear is not debated, it is defied. It is confronted with words, with movement, with fire. When fear whispers, "You can't," you answer louder. "I'm not afraid. I act with power. I am wealth in motion." Again, like someone breaking chains, fear doesn't decide for me. My soul is stronger. My vision is greater. You cannot build an abundant life with a fearful heart. And it's not about denying fear, it's about dethroning it. You choose which voice stays, and your subconscious will obey the stronger one. That's why you must feed faith daily. Surround yourself with believers. Speak as the man who has already won. Walk like the one who has already seen his destiny. Because if you walk with fear, you will attract situations that validate that fear. But if you walk with power, you will attract opportunities that match that energy. Look at John D. Rockefeller. He made massive decisions in uncertain times. He invested when others froze. He never asked for permission. He simply decided that fear would not write his story. And you? Will you keep asking fear for permission to advance? Or will you become the brave architect of your own life? Today, you can pull that fear out by the root. Not with logic, but with ritual, with repetition, with action. And every time it appears again, in your throat, in your stomach, in your words, stop, breathe, and declare out loud. Fear does not live in me. I master my mind. I command my destiny. Do it for 30 days. Do it until your body stops reacting with doubt and starts moving with force. Because you were not born to fear money. You were born to master it, to serve through it, to expand with it, and to prove to the world that the man who conquers his mind conquers everything. No man who ever built a great fortune did it alone. Total independence is an illusion. Absolute self-sufficiency is a romantic myth. True expansion happens when minds unite in harmony. That is the power of the mastermind. It's not a support group. It's not small talk. It is a spiritual alliance, a sacred partnership between two or more people who consciously choose to lift each other toward a shared vision. When that union is made with pure intention, the universe listens. Napoleon Hill understood this deeply. That's why he called the mastermind one of the pillars of Think and Grow Rich. He saw how the great minds of his time didn't just think alone, they thought together. Edison, Ford, Firestone, they didn't gather to waste time. They gathered to elevate each other, to exchange vision, to speak of wealth, creation, and legacy. And you, who are you gathering with? Do your conversations pull you closer to your vision or make you doubt it? Do the people around you speak with faith or with fear? Do they inspire you or drain you? Your circle is your mirror. If you're surrounded by complaint, negativity, and conformity, you are breathing air that slowly kills your dreams. You cannot expect to harvest abundance while rooted in an environment of mediocrity. Your environment is the soil in which your thoughts grow. And if the soil is dry, acidic, or toxic, the most powerful seed will not bloom. It's time to choose your circle with intention. It's time to form your mastermind. You don't need 20 people. You only need one. One mind that creates with you, that speaks your language, that challenges you to think higher, that refuses to tolerate your excuses. And if right now you don't know anyone like that, then start with yourself. Let this channel, Napoleon Inspires, be your first alliance. Let these teachings become your daily inner conversation. Let this moment be the beginning of your new mental community. Now repeat this with clarity and conviction. I unite with the wise. I think with the great. Together, we multiply wealth. Again, stronger. I choose my circle with intention. I surround myself with faith, vision, and power. Together, we rise. Your subconscious absorbs what it hears most. If it constantly hears doubt, fear, or complaint, that becomes your mental atmosphere. But if it constantly hears faith, purpose, and shared vision, your atmosphere becomes a magnetic field of wealth. From today on, protect your circle. Guard like a temple. Treat your relationships as sacred altars for your growth. Because it's not only about what you believe, it's about what everyone around you feeds into your belief. The man who joins with others in purpose, who thinks in the open, who shares his goal, who holds himself accountable, who exposes himself to the light of truth, that man cannot fail. And if you form that circle with intention, even if you start alone, the universe will respond. The right minds will arrive. The allies will appear. The doors will open. Because you've activated a higher law, the law of multiplying power. Now listen closely. Many people say they want to be rich, but few ever ask themselves a deeper question. Can I sustain the wealth I'm asking for? Life does not give you what you want. It gives you what you can handle. And if you haven't received more yet, it's not because you're cursed or forgotten. It's because you haven't yet become the man who can handle more. Wealth isn't just money. It's power. It's responsibility. It's influence. And if you're not strong within, it can destroy you from the outside. Wealth doesn't expand your account. It expands your character. And if you're not willing to grow, wealth will pass you by. Look around. How many people have gained much and lost it all? Do you know why? Because they received something their identity couldn't hold. They were poor in discipline, in mentality, in inner order, and wealth, which never negotiates with chaos, simply left. That's not punishment. That's protection. That's the law acting with intelligence. Because if you're collapsing emotionally under small responsibilities, how could you sustain millions, teams, projects, influence? First, you must become bigger inside. Then wealth will follow. Repeat this with truth. I do not chase wealth. I become the man who attracts and sustains it. Again, with power. My character is greater than my account, and that's why my account will grow. Look within. Where are you still being small? Where do you still live with a scarcity mindset, even when your mouth says abundance? Do you still blame others? Do you still justify your mistakes? Do you still wait for the external to change before you act differently? That's your battlefield. That's where you must win. You cannot hold millions in a mind full of disorder, guilt, and victimhood. You cannot command abundance if every time it arrives, you self-sabotage. If you spend it all, shrink, or feel guilty for having it. Wealth cannot live in someone who feels bad for possessing it. So let me tell you this clearly. Don't chase money. Build yourself. Because once you change, money has no choice. Woodrow Wilson didn't wait for the world to choose him as president. He chose himself first. He walked like a leader. He thought like a leader. He spoke like a leader. And the world simply responded to what he already was inside. Do you see the key? It's not about pretending. It's about becoming. And that transformation requires intention, discipline, repetition, and yes, pain. The pain of letting go of old beliefs. The pain of leaving behind a comfortable but limited identity. The pain of living without the excuses that once protected you. But that pain is the price of greatness. From today forward, begin to act like the man who can hold millions. Speak with clarity. Plan with vision. Give thanks without guilt. Serve with purpose. Decide as if you already had it all. Repeat this now with fire. I am a vessel capable of holding wealth. My mind is order. My spirit is strength. My identity is ready. Again, without hesitation. My capacity grows every day. I am becoming larger than my dreams. And that's why my dreams are coming to me. Make this your daily declaration. My character sustains my fortune. I am worthy because I made myself worthy. When that becomes truth inside you, wealth will not only come, it will stay. Because now, you are no longer waiting for money to change your life. You have become the life that money wants to inhabit. If you've listened this far, you already know the truth. There is no magic. There is no luck. There is only repetition. What you don't repeat, you forget. What you don't affirm weakens. What you don't make a habit never becomes real. Repeat until your mind surrenders. Repeat until your body believes. Repeat until the world bows before your new identity. This is the principle that separates those who wish from those who manifest, those who try from those who live in abundance as a natural state. The average man repeats his poverty every day. I can't. It's hard. That's not for me. And then he wonders why his life never changes. You cannot expect a new reality with old words. You cannot attract wealth with a mind programmed to reject it. That's why you must saturate your inner world with a new frequency. Think it, speak it, write it, visualize it, until it no longer feels strange but familiar. That's what makes it work. That's what changes your vibration. That's what activates the invisible laws in your favor. Now, out loud, declare with faith. I reprogram my mind every day. My word is my law, and my law is fulfilled. Again, with conviction. What I declare with faith, I see with my eyes. What I repeat with decision becomes my destiny. Do this daily, morning and night, for 30 days. Then 60, then 90, until your automatic thoughts are thoughts of abundance. Until your language carries no trace of scarcity. Until your decisions reflect confidence, vision, and purpose. And if one day you forget this code, come back. Listen to this message again, as if it were the first time. Repeat it as a spiritual warrior in training. You didn't come here to be entertained. You came here to transform. Write it on your mirror, on your desk, in your notebook, in your heart. I am wealth. I speak wealth. I sustain wealth. I will repeat wealth until it becomes my permanent reality. Don't stop. Don't get distracted. Don't give up before it's time. The mind takes time to change. But when it does, life has no choice but to follow. And remember this always. Most people fail not because they lack capacity, but because they lack consistency. But you're not most people. You know the code now. And if you choose to live it, if you choose to honor it, if you choose to repeat it, then sooner or later, the universe itself will bow before you. Because the physical world is only the echo of the mental one. And from this moment forward, your mind will never be the same. You have rebuilt yourself with words. You have programmed yourself with faith. You have aligned yourself with divine law. Now get ready to witness what happens when a man dares to become his vision and never looks back. Subscribe to Napoleon Inspires, where faith meets purpose and wisdom becomes action, because here, we don't just talk about success. We awaken the divine power that creates it.